Okay, so there is a reason why the director of this movie Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Wes Ball, said that if you directly watch this movie Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes without watching any prior Planet of the Apes movie, then there's no problem because you will definitely understand the movie from start to finish, because the movie is designed in a way that it is not only serves as a standalone movie, but it also serves as a first movie in the next trilogy. Like in the reboot franchise, we have already had 3 movies, but all of these 3 movies actually centered around the journey of a specific ape called as Caesar. And now after the 3rd movie, his legacy is behind, and now we are actually embarking on a very different and new world on this Planet of the Apes. But as I said, the director said that if you directly watch this movie Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes without watching the previous movie, you'll still definitely understand this movie. But he also said that if you have already seen the first 3 movies of this franchise, then you will be heavily rewarded. But at the same time, he also said that if you have seen those 3 movies, and in addition to that, if you also see the 1968 Planet of the Apes movie, which was the first ever Planet of the Apes movie, then your rewards after watching Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes will be even more. And I can say he was damn right, because not only all of these 4 movies actually drive the overall concept of this movie, but also it gives away a lot about the future of the other 2 movies that we can expect in this trilogy of movies that have started from Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Like literally we can actually predict what can be the stories of the 2nd and the 3rd movie, which we'll be talking about at the end of this video. So first of all, let's discuss all of the possible Easter eggs that we can get from all of the 4 movies into this movie Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. First of all, the name Noah. In Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, we see Raka, which was an orangutan, actually names the human girl as Noah, and he says that all humans are named as Noah. But it doesn't mention that from where that legend actually comes from, that all humans are called as Noah, and that actually comes from the 3rd movie, War of the Planet of the Apes, in which this little girl was also named Noah. But this name Noah actually dates back right to the 1968 movie Planet of the Apes, in which the human girl was also called as Noah. Then let's talk about the orangutan herself. In this movie, she was named as Raka, but if you have already seen the first 3 movies of this franchise, you can directly relate her to the orangutan that was very near to Caesar, and she was called as Morris, and she was really very close to Caesar, and she actually believed in Caesar's ideologies of humans and apes kind of living together. And I definitely feel that the orangutan which we see in this movie Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, named as Raka, is actually a descendant of Morris herself, because both are orangutans and both, you know, drive themselves clearly into the direction of what Caesar's ideologies were, of human and apes living simultaneously, living side by side. But this is not it. We also see the symbol that Raka has, and she even mentions that this symbol actually represents the ideologies of Caesar. But if you remember, this symbol clearly is the same symbol that we see in the first ever Rise of the Planet of the Apes movie, and that was actually the window of where Caesar was raised by humans. And in the same movie, we see a very emotional scene later on when Caesar is sent away from his home, and then to represent home, he actually draws that window on the wall in his cell. Like he identifies that symbol with the symbol of home and also the symbol of humans and apes living together, because as we all know, in that movie he was raised by humans and he was raised by in a human household. So that symbol is really going to be another key element in the future movies. Why? I'll tell you at the end of this video. Now, to understand the ending of this video, we first need to look at some of the Easter eggs that we got from the 1968 movie Planet of the Apes. So let me tell you the story of this movie in brief. Like, the movie actually starts thousands of years after current timeline, in which 3 astronauts actually land on a planet which is ruled by apes. That means Planet of the Apes. They are literally run by apes, but the hidden mystery of that movie was to find the existence before apes, which was humans. And at the climax of this movie, we can see that the main cave, which had proofs of human existence, was actually beside a seashore, and in that cave we also see a doll. And this doll was very similar to the doll that we see in the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes movie, and they also made similar sounds, and also this vault was actually situated adjacent to the seashore. So you can definitely strike some similarities between the 1968 movie and the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes movie. Okay, so now let's finally discuss about the ending of the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes movie. So basically at the very end we see that May actually goes to visit Noah, and they have a very important conversation in which Noah actually says that he believed that the humans and apes can actually live together, but somewhere down the line he thinks Proximus Caesar was actually right, because Proximus said that at the end of the day, humans will actually try to overpower them, actually try to put them in cage, and at this point in time, because May actually betrayed Nova actually thinks that that's all true, that was the Proximus's thing about humans and ape can't coexist together was actually true. And the movie's director actually proves that theory in that point in time by showing the gun in the hands of May, that May was all ready to kill Noah if things go downhill. And in the same conversation, May also says that the world actually was meant for humans, not apes. And then Noah says, then what is for apes? And that was the first moment which actually strikes a doubt in May's mind, that is he right, that are we again going to enslave them? But the important thing of this conversation was that at the end of this conversation, Noah actually gives the symbol of Caesar, the symbol of apes and humans actually coexisting with each other. He gives that symbol, he actually kind of passes on the message, like Raka says, the work must continue. So he passes on that work, that message to May, and surprisingly, May accepts that. Now that is perhaps the ultimate thing which signifies that she'll definitely entertain the idea of humans and apes coexisting with each other in the future movies. Now let's talk about the very last scene of this movie, in which May actually reveals her entire message, her entire mission of this movie, in which she meets humans. She meets a military camp or any facility in which she actually delivers the drive that she took from the vault, which was her ultimate mission. And due to that drive, humans are again able to communicate with each other, because that drive had some codes, and that codes actually drove the entire satellite structures, those all satellites into a certain direction, and people across the globe, humans across the globe, can actually now communicate. And in the future movies, this will definitely mean that humans actually come back with each other, like humans actually find other humans and they build a humans united front and they fight against apes. But now let me tell you the most interesting part of this video. In the movie Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, we are time and again showed one picture, and that picture was in the observatory, which was of an astronaut. And that is actually a hint to the 1968 movie, in which I told you that 3 astronauts actually arrive at a planet, and spoiler alert, that planet is actually Earth, but that is revealed at the very end of that 1968 movie. But anyways, let me connect you to this Easter egg of the astronaut to a scene that we got in the 2011 movie. In the 2011 movie Rise of the Planet of the Apes, which was the first ever movie of this new franchise, we see 2 scenes consisting of astronauts. The first in which we see that astronauts are actually going on a mission, and then we see astronauts lost in space in a newspaper cutout, which in 2011 itself gave a rise to a plot in which they can actually reintroduce the introduction of the astronauts that we see in the 1968 movie. But at this point in time, that has not been used here. But now I can definitely say in the second movie of this new franchise or the third movie, we will definitely see that happening, because the fact that in the 1968 movie, astronaut actually go on a mission. First, they think that they have arrived on a different planet, and they think that because being into space at the speed of light, they have actually passed on a lot of years, some 1,000 odd years, and in this planet is actually run by apes. But at the end of the movie, we figure out that this is indeed the Earth, and on this Earth, humans messed up. Because of that, the planet belonged to the apes, and that key element of astronaut actually coming back on Earth can be introduced in the next movie or in the movie after that. So here's what I think would happen. In the next movie or in the next movie after that, we can definitely see a war between apes and the united humans that we have seen can be united at the end of this movie. But in the middle of it, they will definitely introduce the storyline in which astronauts come back on Earth and they realize that the planet is ruled by apes. So that was the ending of this movie Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and also a sneak peek into what could happen in the second and the third movie of this new trilogy, which can bring back the 1968 movie's astronaut plot point. So I really hope that I did a decent enough job of explaining all these things, and you can check out some of the videos on my channel as well. And as always, thank you so much for watching.